Hey everyone, and welcome to the Builders and Visionaries Podcast, where what gets built meets who makes it happen. Today's guest is Christelle Keefer. She's the global segment manager for education at ABB and one of the 10 women shaping the future of robotics. She's building the bridge between industry and education, creating training programs, certifications, and partnerships that prepare the workforce for automation while opening doors for more diverse talent in robotics. Thanks for joining us, Christelle. Really looking forward to getting into this.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Hi, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so my first question is around what you're building right now, Christelle. I'm really curious to understand how are you really driving ABB's education strategy to get more people ready for automation in the workforce?
So I can't say it enough, but partnerships, partnerships, partnerships. I'm really focused on building stronger bridges between industry, education, the next generation of our workforce, parents included, and leaders. It really takes a community to make this a success. And, think back on who made the biggest impact in your career. Most likely it was probably a mentor. So, that's why it's so important for us to step up and support the community as a whole, really preparing the next generation with the latest technologies. And, at AVB, our education strategy is about more than just providing robots. It's about creating an ecosystem where students, teachers, and industry can all thrive, which means, yes, we're giving students hands on access to the tools they'll experience in the workplace, but we're also equipping teachers with the confidence and the resources they need to teach robotics effectively, and really helping schools integrate automation in a sustainable way. So, at ABB, we're scaling this not only in the United States, but globally, building partnerships with organizations and making robotics more accessible earlier in the learning journey, because early exposure is key. It shapes how students see their futures, the opportunities, and it builds their confidence and their comfort level with automation.
I think it's really interesting that you guys are doing that. And, I've got a thesis that traditional education in its current form is probably on its way out. And we're going to start seeing a lot more of these apprenticeships pop up throughout the world. Really, uh, you know, can you share what kind of organizations and schools that you guys are involved with?
Yeah, so I have tons of schools and organizations, both locally and globally as well. But we're very involved with different, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, First Robotics, Vex Robotics. I'm starting to get a little bit more involved with Skills USA, the Association for Advancing Automation, A3. I'm on their technology strategy board. I'm on their curriculum and development committee to, develop training and curriculum for upskilling the workforce, but also for educators, and then also the A3 Education Committee. So the A3 committees have a very broad reach as well into other organizations that we can collaborate and partner with as well. So I was always looking for more and more partnerships, but it's quality over quantity for sure.
Absolutely. And Mainstay is actually involved with A3 as well. Incredible organization. And I love what they're doing and everything that they stand for. So, it's great to hear that ABB is that involved with, that angle of training the next, workforce that's coming up. That's really exciting. Um, what tools are you guys really using and what trends in robotics education are really making the biggest impact that you've seen and across classrooms and training labs?
I believe software is truly changing the game. Ease of use is lowering the barrier to entry through programs like Blockly, Scratch, and we have something called ABB's Wizard Easy Programming, which allows students And even today's workforce to program robots with simple visual drag and drop commands instead of complex code. So, another game changer is lead through programming, where you're physically guiding the robot arm along a path and the software records and converts the movement of that program. But we're also seeing an impact of digital twin technology. So, that enables users to simulate, test, and optimize applications in virtual environments before even deploying them in the real world. So, this accelerates learning, it reduces risks, and it really builds confidence when working in automation when you can do it in a virtual environment. So overall, I believe, robotics software is becoming more intuitive, user friendly, really opening doors for students, teachers, and professionals. And with these advancements, more classrooms, more training labs, and companies can integrate robotics, making education and workforce training more inclusive, accessible, and scalable as well.
That's awesome. AI. Everybody talks about AI. Is that a component in some of the things that you guys are teaching and seeing in the space right now?
For sure. And AI is such a there's so many different it's just such a broad term. Are you talking AI with vision systems? Are you talking AI with ChatGPT, natural language models and AI?
All of it. How it
There's
yeah, I'm just curious how it integrates within the training room. There are a number of studies where they're saying that AI is kind of contributing to the way that people learn, and I'm curious if that's maybe a component in the ABB kind of rollout for students across the country.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So AI is used to enhance work, not replace work. Clearly, it's not 100% accurate, but with a human touch, it can definitely make things more efficient and effective. Using robotics, for vision systems, we have our autonomous mobile robots, our AMRs that use visual SLAM technology. We call it VSLAM. So that's a huge win and a way to integrate mobile robotics into warehouses and different environments that way, and getting kids exposed to not only the robot arms but the AMRs as well. So there's a lot of different ways that we're incorporating an AI to our software and into the classrooms as well.
That's fantastic. Thanks for sharing that. Um, I guess my last question is really around where things get stuck. I'd like to understand, what's holding back the workforce training in robotics, and what is ABB or yourself or others doing to actually fix it?
Where do things get stuck? So, I had mentioned this earlier in one of the questions that the first question you asked. And I think one of the biggest barriers to workforce training in robotics is access, both in terms of cost and also in teacher readiness. And when I talk teacher, sometimes you think just education, but I mean, teachers can be trainers in the workforce as well, that are, or maybe an expert in the workforce that's learning about robotics and training the rest of their colleagues who are on the floor, robotics. So, schools want robotics in the classroom, but sometimes budgets are limited, and many teachers don't feel fully equipped. Same with the workforce. Sometimes you'll have a company that really wants robotics, but their budget is limited and their resources maybe haven't been exposed to robotics. So, to fix this, we have to provide affordable, scalable solutions that, schools and the workforce can adopt. Invest in teacher or educator training so they feel confident and supported. Confidence is key. But I've talked to some teachers where they're like trial and error. We learn, we make mistakes, and we recover quickly, and we learn together with our students, which I think is a great environment to explore and learn robotics and automation. And then, on the school side of things, embedding robotics directly into the curriculum so that every student has access, not just those after school programs where they're going into clubs. Some kids don't have the transportation, they don't have the time, they're involved in other things. There's so many factors there. So let's make it accessible to everyone by incorporating it into the curriculum. And also strengthening the industry education partnerships where companies not only offer equipment, but also mentorship and real world projects and career pathways that students can see that, it's not just a career in engineering. You can also have a career in marketing or communications or human resources and be involved in robotics. So really, all in all, it's where do things get stuck? It's all about building an ecosystem that connects students, educators, and industry for long-term success. So when we align efforts, we move from scattered initiatives to systemic change, really laying the foundation for a workforce that's ready for the future of automation.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing those insights, Christelle. How can people find you? Because I know that, in educational systems and stuff like that, there are a lot of there are a lot of students. I was going to say children, but they're they're children to us, but they're not children in their own eyes, right? They're preparing for the workforce. How can students find ABB's training programs and maybe get access to it, and sign up their robotics team for some ABB training?
Sure. So you can find me on LinkedIn. If you have a LinkedIn page, I would love to connect. Send me a message. I'm extremely responsive. If you're looking for what ABB offers to education, if you just Google ABB education or ABB STEM education, a link will pop up and you will be able to find the website for us that explains exactly what we do. You'll see some case stories of how we've touched the lives of educators from India all the way through, Czech Republic and the United States, Canada, Mexico, all throughout the globe. So you'll be able to see different students talking about their testimonials and how they've learned about robotics and the excitement there, along with the Robot Studio. We donate our software to schools for free, so that's huge as well. And they can, we were talking about digital twins, so they can get their hands on that. The teachers can request that and get that for their schools. So yeah, it'd be
That's
great to connect.
fantastic. Thank you so much, Christelle. Appreciate the time. Short and sweet. I think that there's a lot of value in the conversation that we had just for 12 minutes for some folks to get involved and maybe wrap their head around the future of robotics and how ABB is leading the way. Thank you so much for the time.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Take care.